Hey everyone, Michael here. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to add Bollinger Bands onto your charts on TradingView. Then I'm going to explain to you guys the settings so you guys can make the best trades possible time after time after time. Today's video is sponsored by Fairdesk, a premier crypto exchange specializing in futures, spot, and copy trading. Use my link to join today and enjoy special perks including extremely low fees. Dive into the future of trading with Fairdesk, where you can copy the best traders around. Now, for today's video, we're going to be using Bitcoin, but you guys can use this for stocks, options, anything really out there, even Forex and pairs and things of that nature. What I want you guys to do is go over here to indicators, metrics, and strategies, and I want you guys just to type in BB. Nice and simple. At the very top here under technicals, you guys are going to see Bollinger Bands. If you guys like this and you guys want to use it a lot, I'd recommend giving it a gold star. That way it'll add it onto your favorites for you. Next, you guys are going to click on this one time, and then voila, you're going to see the Bollinger Bands pop up. Now, there are different ways you guys can change this up, but I want to explain to you guys what each of these things means, okay? So we're going to be starting off with style, it looks like now, then we'll move over here to inputs. Style is very easy to understand. If I zoom in here just a little bit so you guys can see it, you guys are going to see that the basis, that's this orange line right here, you can change this to be different thicknesses, different colors and whatnot. This is basically just the moving average that you guys will have put in for the length. Next, you have upper band and lower band. These are basically just changing the colors that you guys want to see. I would normally keep these at blue, but I have seen people turn it to red and green. That way you try to buy at the support levels here and you try to sell when it gets closer to this red line over here. I prefer to keep it blue, but to each their own, okay? And then don't forget, you guys can change the thickness based on how far you guys are zoomed out. I normally am zoomed in about 175%, but if you guys go back to 100% and zoom out a little bit, maybe sometimes it's a little bit harder to see. So in those circumstances, usually people will have it be the third thickness or the fourth thickness, and you guys can really see those lines pop out like this. I don't like it, but if you guys like it, by all means go for it. Now, on top of this, I'm just going to go back to reset to default so we have everything normal. You guys are able to change the background. For me, again, this isn't something I really do unless I don't want to see the background at all. For me, let me zoom in back for you guys one more second here. Let's go to 175 again. There we go. What I tend to do is come over here and I'll actually turn off the background. So instead of choosing in color, I'll just turn it off. That way it goes back to my background color. But if you guys do want to see a little bit of a fog of war, so to speak, you guys can come over here, change the colors a little bit. You guys aren't really going to see too much change here. But if I turn up the opacity, there you guys go. You can see me changing all the colors and things of that nature. Again, I tend not to actually use that, but if you guys want to, there it is. Next, we're going to be moving over here to inputs. That way I can explain exactly what's going on here. So first of all, you guys are going to be dealing with the length. The length refers to the number of periods that's going to be considered for the calculation of the moving average. This is a simple moving average right here. This is a 20, okay? Next, you guys are going to be looking at source. This one's a little bit different. This refers to the price used in the Bollinger Bands calculation. So if you guys go off the candle, we're using the close of the candles here. I would keep it as close, but you guys can use the open, the high, the low, the close, the high, low, close, the open, high, low, close, or the high, low, close, close, okay? So personally, I keep it at close, but if I change it to open, you see how it moved just a little bit. If I go over here to high, low, moved a little bit more, high, low, close, close. It moved a little bit here. High, low, close. Moved a teeny bit, okay? Usually, I keep it at close, but that's just me because I'm looking for breakouts and things of that nature. But yeah, it can be very, very useful, especially if you guys are looking for a specific type of strategy. Next, you guys are going to look at this thing that says STD DEV. This stands for standard deviation. So this one can be a little bit complicated, but I'll try to simplify this for you guys. So this is the statistical measurement that provides an understanding of the price volatility, okay? So this is for volatility. In Bollinger Bands, the upper and lower bands are created by adding and subtracting a number of standard deviations. That way it actually keeps everything, it tries to keep everything actually within the price range, okay? Now, the default setting is normally 2 standard deviations, which means it's about 95% of the price action should be contained within the band. So if I were to zoom out of this, you can tell that about 95% is within these bands. Most of it, some of it comes out every now and again, but the majority of it's doing just fine in here. And you got a few hiccups where it gets outside of it, all right? Now, If you increase the standard deviation, the bands will become wider, reflecting a higher volatility and vice versa. So I normally don't actually move this down. I only increase this. So if I were to go to 3, you see how it gets a little bit larger, maybe 4, gets a little bit larger. And you can see 4 here, Bitcoin really doesn't break out of 4. So when we get really close to it, that's usually a good opportunity to actually start looking for shorting opportunities here, okay? We don't normally come into contact. We normally don't break out above it. And you know, if you want to fine tune it, you can do something like a 3.78 if you wanted to, or a 3.5. Normally, I would say people like to keep it at 2, but don't be afraid to go to 3, 3.5, 2.5, and test it out to see what's working best for your chart. Bitcoin's a little bit more volatile, so I might need to increase it. But if you're trading something that is not too volatile, like a Forex pair or something like that, maybe you guys just want to keep it at 2.5 instead of going all the way up to 3 for Bitcoin. Now, last thing here is offset. This is if you guys want to move the Bollinger Band into the future. So it shifts the Bollinger Bands into the future by moving the Bollinger Bands to the right. And a simple way to show this to you guys very fast is look at the Bollinger Bands right here. And now, let me actually go over here and turn on the background. I'm gonna go right here, I'm gonna go to 2. 1, 2. You see how it's moving forward now? You're trying to project it into the future. Personally, I don't use this at all. I have never really enjoyed doing this. But you can see, you can try to offset this just a little bit to see what may happen in the future. I haven't had the best results for it. Maybe that means I just need to practice it a little bit more. The weekly charts have definitely been pretty interesting when trying to use this, though, I have to say. So if you're looking at something that's much longer term, let's offset to 3. Let's go back over here and move this to a 3 as for the standard deviation. And there we go. So perhaps if we move this ahead of time a little bit, we can say, hey, maybe Bitcoin may move up here to 34,000, then it's going to be pushed back down. You can see it worked out over here. But again, that's a standard deviation of 3, an offset of 3. If I go back over here to offset of 0, you can see we never actually broke out, but when we get closer, we can try to play around with it a little bit more. Same with this. Maybe you don't even need a 3, maybe you just want a 2.5, and voila, there you go. This is giving you better opportunities for buying and selling. And so far, we're getting close to a selling zone as far as Bitcoin's concerned, okay? So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to have a great rest of your day, and thank you guys so much for watching.